Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who have finally canceled Pennywise the Clown, it's Sneeple at the Movies. I'm Helena.
And I'm Matty. We don't have Ezra with us this week. They came down with a head cold, and they're just not sounding very good or feeling very good. And also, horror is not really their thing, so they were like, just go on without me.
Yeah, we're talking about horror today, which is insane.
We're talking about horror. We're entering the spooky season.
Spoopy.
According to my Twitter, because everybody has already changed their icons. So,
call out.
Also, It Part 2 is coming out, so.
It's out, baby.
It's out. Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's out.
I don't fucking know. I don't know a thing.
I only know because it's for some reason been in my life much more than it has been in the past, 2 years, recently. For some reason.
Someone reminded me the other day that the part 1 came out, literal years ago, and I was like, what?
I know.
What are you that movie just came out. It did not.
No. It feels like yesterday. And it also feels like yesterday because I think I read the book around the same time that the movie came out, and I didn't see part 1 until last night. So I don't know. Time. Yeah, time is the scariest thing of all. In fact, what I could argue.
Still haven't. And seen.
End of podcast.
That's it. That's the episode. Yeah. Still haven't seen it. I do want to see it part 1 and possibly part 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Clowns just not... I am not affected either way by clowns. I'm not afraid of them, but I'm also just I don't think they're not scary either. I'm neutral on clowns.
And God, Pennywise is so versatile. He has so many shapes. That's why people love him. Disgusting. You're not valid.
You're not valid.
You're like, oh God, so far from valid. It's just, I can't even describe to you how far from valid you are. Oh, I read it last year. Sorry, I had to look on Goodreads and confirm. I read it last summer. It took me a fucking, literal 2 months to read it, because it's 1 million pages long, literally.
It's huge.
It's the size of a brick of a small dog.
Yeah, it's the size of Les Mis, the marker with which I judge all books. How many Les Mises is it? It's approximately 1 Les Mis, which
possibly
is a lot.
1 and 1/10 Les Mis.
Yeah, I think it might be longer than Les Mis.
And arguably, less happens.
Yeah.
Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but, a lot of stuff doesn't
talk about the Paris sewer system.
No. Well, that's funny you should mention that, because it does talk about a sewer system. It's pretty crucial to the plot of it. The sewer system. Literal.
Any book that has to be that long has to have a big chunk about a sewer system. That's the law.
It's the new rule.
When you write a book. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, we're going so far off the rails already. What have we seen?
Anyways. So what we seen. Not a lot. Helena is still in rehearsals. I rewatched The Thing in preparation for this episode because I love The Thing so
good.
It's so good. Oh, God, I haven't seen it in years. I saw it once years ago, and it really stuck with me. And I was like, God, what if I don't like it as much as I did then? Blah, blah, blah. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, no, it's better than I remember, actually.
Yeah.
So, that was a very pleasant surprise. Good. And then I'm still watching Lupin the Third. I'm in season 2 now, which is the one with the English dub. And it's interesting. And then I rewatched one of the movies, so that's it. This is my whole brain right now. It's like, all I can do is watch anime, man. And horror movies is what I'm moving into.
You're valid.
I might watch Halloween. I've never seen it before, but I just was like, God, I want to watch Halloween. So
yeah, I've never seen it. See. There's a lot of horror movies that I haven't seen that I'm like,
yeah,
I should.
Yeah.
I did watch a few. I watched Frances Ha a couple of weeks ago, which was good. I really liked that. And then I rewatched Booksmart the other night because I could, and then I watched it last night, and it was chill because I told this story before the recording, but my parents are going to a retirement party, and it was like I had the evening off because we had tech from 12 to 5. technical rehearsals for those unfamiliar, and so I was like, I'm gonna be home by myself fucking watching this scary movie because I rented it on iTunes like a dumb bitch. And then I invited 2 members of the cast over with it to my house to watch it with me. So Madeline and Azalea came over and we watched it and we made commentary the whole time. And we talked for the last third of the movie about what D&D classes the characters would be in, because that's where our brain was at. So, yeah. Where do we start? I mean, God, I don't even know. It's such a...
It's obviously all genres. There's a lot within them. I think horror, much like heist, actually. But heist is kind of like... Heist makes a good secondary genre. I think horror, you can have a lot of good secondary genres with it, but it makes a great primary. But you don't usually have a horror like... I guess maybe horror is a secondary genre most of it. Well, no, because the way I'm mentally defining genres is like, what is the thing... What is the tools you're using and how are you using them? And then the subgenre could be like the flavor text. So I feel like horror is often the primary genre, but you almost always have some kind of secondary subgenre with it also.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you never have just straight horror. You have, like, it's a slasher horror, it's supernatural horror, it's sci-fi horror, it's this kind of horror, it's horror comedy, whatever.
Yeah, it's, you know, or you could even, deeper than that. There's, like, isolation horror. There's, like, there's someone in the house. You know, there's a lot of things that go even deeper than that, where it's, like, very specific trope situation horror.
Right.
And a lot of them, like, sci-fi is usually isolation horror. Slasher is usually, like, there's somebody in the house, or there's somebody in my neighborhood.
Sure.
Like, the things that are the things we are afraid of make up the trope, also.
Yeah.
Man, there's just so much of it.
There's so much. I literally, for the listener, I hopped off this Google Doc, like, several hours ago, before we started recording, and Matty had already written one whole page of just notes being like, I love this thing about this thing. I want to talk about this. Can I please talk about Final Girls?
Over
the soundtrack
like a page
is
and a
just
half.
great. It's amazing.
Because I was just watching the thing, and I kept having thoughts about horror as I was watching the thing. So I was just like, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it was very good.
I think in that note, my favorite versions of horror are like sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Because I think isolation horror is so interesting, because it always comes with, that's where you get a lot of really good character development, because they can't go anywhere. Like, in The Thing, they're in the Antarctic, so they move from scene to scene. They'll be, inside the building, they'll be outside, they'll go to the shack, they go in a helicopter a couple of times before their helicopter breaks down, or is broken down, is what I should say. But they can't leave. So you really see their characters under duress at the very breaking point of who they are, and it's so interesting to watch.
Yeah,
what these people become when faced with
it's economy of space,
unknowable
economy
horror.
Of time. Yeah,
yeah. This thing that, as far as they can tell, has been under the ice for 10,000 years.
I hate.
Oh,
terrifying.
God, that movie's so fucking good. Or Alien.
Yeah.
You know, same thing. They're in a spaceship. They can't go anywhere. They're in the ship, and they're far away from, home.
Yeah.
So they just have to deal with whatever it is, and they can't let it get back home either. Same thing with The Thing, actually. I feel like a lot of the sci-fi horrors are we have something, and we can't let it get home.
And, the great thing about it... not it. One track mind. The great thing about Alien is... spoilers for Alien, which came out in 1979. There's also they don't want it to get back, but they've been there's a whole thing where they are trying to keep it with them, but also they've been secretly assigned to bring it back. That whole thing is this corporation has sent them secretly to recover this thing and to bring it back for study or whatever, to use as a weapon of mass destruction. And they don't care if the crew dies. And so it's like capitalism is bad. And also they're stuck there. And so they're like fighting like two fronts of, you know, we have to keep this thing from getting back and also from killing us all. So, whew.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, it's really
I didn't
intense.
ever end up seeing Life, which was the one that looked like Alien, but it had Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds. And it is because of that movie that there's that great interview where someone's like, isn't it great that you could record a movie in like that takes place in space because you don't have to wear fucking shoes?
Yes.
And both of them just go nuts over it. But
There's
I kind of do want to see it. Cause,
yeah,
they're like, yeah! What a great interview that is.
Yeah.
But I assume that it seems like a very similar premise, and I'm still interested in seeing that one just because that's I like that kind of thing so much.
Yeah.
Even though it does look almost exactly like Alien.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta watch something that's very similar to Alien.
Yeah. With no Sigourney Weaver, though, which is sad. But Jake Gyllenhaal is almost as beautiful as she is, so there's that.
That's true. That's also true.
Also true. Yeah, and I mean, speaking of, Alien and Sigourney Weaver, I think that kind of leads into the whole Final Girls concept, because there's something about, like, Ripley being consistently, not just in the first Alien movie, but being the final girl in a way that feels weirdly empowering, because you mentioned in the Google Doc that it's not necessarily an empowering thing, because it's still the audience gets to, or the filmmaker or whatever, exploits the terror and fear of being the last one left alive and being constantly like abused for payoff or no payoff or whatever. But Ripley being like originally being written, I think, as a man in the script, and they were just like, we're just gonna...
And then she was a lesbian.
Yeah,
basically.
She's basically a lesbian. And they did, because they just cast her in the role, and they're just like, yeah, we're not changing anything. She's still going to be the same character, and so still in control, and like not a, we're not going to try and make her a more stereotypical female character in a horror movie, whatever that means. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts about that, because it's been played well and not well in many different cases.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about the movie, which one it is. I think the difference is, like, Ripley is a survivor character, is what she ends up being. Sometimes there's the trope of the final girl, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure, and that's fine, because I've read the wikis for, like, all the Saw movies, because I find them very interesting, but I'm not really a big fan of torture porn, which I think is what they kind of end up becoming. But one of the Saws, I think, has a final girl who then later ends up becoming, like, works for Jigsaw. So they will become survivors, and then they become, like, twisted, like, they don't win still. They get, like, broken.
Right.
Which is not a version of it that I like.
Yeah.
But then there's also, like, Halloween, which I did just say I haven't watched, but once again, I have a cultural awareness of Halloween. And I know that, like, Jamie Lee Curtis is in a bunch of them, and she survives a bunch of them. Like, she survives Michael Meyers, and, like, nobody else fucking can. So
yeah,
I think that's the key part, is, like, do they end up broken in some way, or do they end up surviving?
Yeah.
And also, like, how is the filming of them done, too? Because, you can show it in different ways. Yeah.
And Ripley does spend, like, that entire last scene kind of stripped down to her lingerie, but it's not like lingerie, it's like her undergarments. And it doesn't feel, she's doing that to get into a spacesuit, and it could be arguably exploitative, but it doesn't feel like that to me. But no, I'm sure to each their own. But
yes, was it necessary? Like, probably not. But did it feel excessive? Not really.
Yeah, and there's a way that her final girl status is handled in the later movies that is arguable. How well it's done. I think it's well done in Aliens. After that point, it's kind of like,
Yeah, well, they all stopped. I've only seen Alien, the one, when there was only one of them. Yeah. I hear they stop being as good. So
yeah,
correlation, causation, maybe. But
yeah, I mean, Aliens is very good. It's different, but it's very good. And then Alien 3 or Alien Thirded, because it has like the little tiny symbol in the top corner instead of just saying it's the third Alien movie. Which
it's Alien Cubed or whatever.
Yeah. That movie. So I own all of them because I have them. I have the Alien anthology on Blu-ray. That was directed by David Fincher, and I think a lot of its issues were similar to many stories that we hear over and over again with directors that we like or don't like, where they wanted to make a specific movie and they were not getting to make that movie that they wanted to because maybe the studio wanted to make something else or things were going wrong and cuts and changes are being made that they weren't satisfied with and yada yada yada. So I think that was a lot of alien cubes problems. But it was also just fucking depressing. I mean, obviously, and I say that, and I know that some people are like, oh, fucking, it's Alien, but there's still some, like, a hope spot after Alien and after Aliens that's good, and Alien Cubed just opens with an utter, like, termination of the hope spot from the previous movie, and it's like, oh, well,
bummer again. And now what?
Okay, so where do we go from here? And it's like, yes, now she's on a prison planet, and they're all men, and they're all very predatory.
Oh.
Except for this one guy who's maybe cool, and he's played by Charles Dance, who's, for listeners, in Game of Thrones. Like everybody, at some point. But yeah, it's just, and well, I mean, Winona Ryder is in Alien Resurrection, which is good. It's a fucking weird ass movie though, the fourth one.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, not in a great way. It was written by Joss Whedon.
Oh. End of sentence. That could be the end of it.
Yeah, made by, I mean, and yeah, and here's the thing about Joss Whedon. I mean, there's so many things one can say about Joss Whedon, but back when his dialogue was that's not how I want to say that. He obviously has a very particular way of phrasing dialogue, right? It's Buffy speak, and this was before he was, like, really in charge of directing his own movies, I think. And so maybe when he directs his own shit, he kind of has a better idea of, like, how he wants that to be said, or he hires actors and works with actors who know how to say his shit right, which is why he works with the same people so often. There's other reasons to do that, but it's also like, yeah, it's because they know how to make my dialogue sound right and good, and they didn't know how to do that in Alien Resurrection. It's like he had an idea for Firefly, and then he put it in this movie they asked him to write. And it was not the movie that they wanted, but they tried to make it fit around this concept anyway. So that's interesting. Anyway.
Fascinating.
Winona Ryder's kind of like a summer clown, a river character-ish, and there's like all of the types of the characters that are in Firefly.
Weird.
There's even an actress who looks almost like, it's like a carbon copy of Monica Baccarin. Yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, tangent.
He can only write one thing in space, I guess.
That's all he can do.
Oh, boy. God.
Alien good.
I'm thinking about Final Girl still. Alien good.
Alien good.
I didn't see it for a long time, and this was the same friend who showed me The Thing, was like, you've never seen Alien? And I was like, no. So, backstory for me, I was a big scaredy cat, like, my whole life growing up. I didn't really start getting into horror until I was like 18, and I played Amnesia with a friend, and then I started like really getting into it and like basically just turned my whole brain around on it. But cool. Because of that, I didn't see a lot of like horror classics that maybe I would have seen in my like early 20s or something like that, because I was mostly playing horror games and I was still kind of like dipping my toes in.
Right.
So I didn't see Alien until like a couple years ago, I think.
Oh, dope.
Oh god, and I was like, I'm actually pretty glad that I somehow managed to miss so much of Alien, even though that movie came out in 1979. Like, I didn't know like anything about it, and it was so. It looks kind of doofy. Obviously, some of it doesn't have the same impact, but like, it is still an incredibly tight movie.
Yeah, it's still like really well made, and like yeah, obviously like a lot of the effects are. Well, I mean, they use a lot of prosthetics in that one though too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of practicals, which still kind of hold up, but that's good.
Which, like, thank God, because if they hadn't, it just nothing. It just wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's one of the telling things of horror is like, even when the monsters perhaps have not aged super good, is it still tense? Are you still afraid?
Mm-hmm.
And with like The Thing or Alien or The Fly, still gross.
Oh, the 1986 version, right?
Yeah, the one with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, fucked up.
Oh, so gross.
Hate.
Still.
Yeah.
Tremors.
Oh,
still
love Tremors.
Still good. You know, they've aged well in terms of like so many other pieces about them are still so good.
Yeah.
One of the notes I made is that like so much of horror, you really have to get all your technical stuff right.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that's, I feel like some other genres, it may not matter as much. It's like, if you got one piece that is not keeping up with everything else, it could just drop the ball, and like you will lose tension, or you'll lose the fear, or you'll make somebody laugh on accident, and then you've broken the spell.
Yeah.
And so many of these movies don't. I was really impressed by, I'm going to be talking about The Thing a lot, but I just fucking saw it, so everybody buckle up.
Yeah.
So much of the sound mixing in that movie is like, there's some instrumental soundtrack, which is very good. Most of it is a dialogue and then like incidental sound. And that's it. Mm-hmm. And that movie, which I have seen before and remember most of, I still spent a lot of that movie just like clenched so tight, like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? Even though I know exactly what happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah. It's so good. It's a brilliant ending.
For those who haven't seen The Thing, I guess don't listen if you want to see it, but I was thinking about, because the ending is super ambiguous, and sometimes with horror, I'm like, I don't want an ambiguous ending. Like, I want Michael Myers to be fucking dead. Like, I know he's not dead, but I don't want them to be like, what if he's alive? And I'm like, no, I want him to be dead. I want him to have lost. But with The Thing, I'm like, no, that ending of like, you don't know if one of them is the Thing, or both of them are the Thing, or neither of them are the Thing, and like the Thing is dead, or it got away, or it's so perfect because it follows the tone of the whole movie so well, where you don't know, nobody knows who the Thing is, and you don't know until it's there and it's coming to kill somebody.
Yeah,
like
that paranoia.
John Carpenter is so good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that he did Halloween also, but I was looking at it. I was like, I want to watch Halloween. So I was looking it up, and I was like, oh shit, he did that one.
He did that one. He did that one too.
He did. God, yeah. So just briefly, speaking of technical stuff, like, this is just my one grief with so much horror is like, they make everything so dark that you can't fucking see what's going on, and they're like, but that makes it scary, and I'm like, use contrast better.
Yeah. It's arguably scarier if you can see everything.
Yeah, if I can't see what the fuck's going on, then like when something scary happens, I can't see that either. Like,
yeah.
Your contrast is bad and you should feel bad. God. Also, sound mixing and design is very important for horror. And Quiet Place should have won the Oscar.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm still bitter about this.
We have to give it to Bohemian Rhapsody. That's what deserves it.
No. The use of sound in that movie was mind-blowing. Like, seeing that in a theater was such an intense experience because everybody there was holding their breath the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wanted to breathe because it would ruin the moment. Like, God, that's good horror. That's good sound design.
I remember that just from watching the trailer. Because I think I told this story before when we talked about our Oscars episode. But the trailer came out, I think we saw it when we went to see Last Jedi. And they show the scene in the movie where, and they've all been quiet up to this point, and when you get the vibe that it's a horror movie and they're being quiet on purpose. And the scene where the boy knocks over the lantern is what it is or something, or knocks over something over, and there's like a loud, and it's like the first sound that you hear in the trailer, and everybody, like, when that happened in the trailer, everybody, like, fucking jumped out of their seat.
In unison,
like,
yeah,
oh,
for sure.
God! And they didn't even know at that point why that conceit needed to be followed.
You just knew that he had to be quiet.
Yeah.
Which is, like, if that isn't, like, a key point of so many different things that are scary, it's like, I have to be quiet, because it will hear me. It's like, God, that's such a good idea. That movie was so good. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sulking about it still.
I know, it's good. You're valid.
Thank you. We want to talk about some specific movies. Not that we haven't been talking about specific
like
movies.
this huge ass list that we've written down. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so big.
It's
I've been adding stuff while we've been talking.
What?
Because I keep thinking about it.
No, you horrid. You so have.
We didn't talk about we didn't mention Silence of the Lambs, and I was thinking about Hannibal, and I was like, fucking Silence of the Lambs, dude. That's like,
yes.
Well, I was thinking about train of thought. I was thinking about The Thing because it's super gross, and I was eating while watching The Thing earlier, and I briefly lost my appetite. And when I used to watch Hannibal, that never happened to me, and I was like, God, what's happened? I've gotten old. And then I was like, oh, dude, Silence of the Lambs, like. Talk about movies that you can't watch while you eat. Like, that's a horror movie for sure.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Oh,
I can't remember if you've seen that.
Yeah. I think you and I saw it together once.
Yeah.
Possibly. And then I think maybe I saw part of it at your house once. I've seen it on my own a couple times.
Yeah. That's a horror movie. There are some movies where like I didn't put Jaws on this list because even though Jaws is technically a horror movie-ish, because it doesn't scare me anymore because I've seen it so many times and it's more like this comforting like character study movie for me.
I was also thinking about The Mummy, which the first time I saw The Mummy, I was so scared of it.
Oh yeah.
But I would also say kind of like Jaws, like those movies have horror elements, but are like also like adventure movies, sort of.
Yeah, like to me.
To be fair, I also haven't seen Jaws yet, so I can't say if that's. I just think of it as an adventure movie.
Yeah, I would say that Jaws. I mean, the last third of the movie certainly is more like an adventure movie. I would say that like it's kind of closer to me. It seems like a thriller. Because for some reason, even though it is like straight up, it's technically a monster movie, I guess. But
yeah, I also have trouble thinking of monster movies as horror movies sometimes because they don't scare me.
Me too. Like I wouldn't say.
I guess it depends on the monster movie.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that King Kong is a horror movie, even though some people are like King Kong's a horror movie, and I'm like, nah, but he's a big monkey, and I love
Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm like, no, he's valid though. Leave him alone.
But he's fucking right, actually.
Yeah, King Kong was right. But I mean, like, that's also because, like, I don't think the King Kong that I have seen, obviously, is the 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong, which is more of a adventure movie a la Peter Jackson. So I guess that explains that. But I also, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other monster movies I would consider horror movies. Quiet Place is technically a monster movie, I would say.
Yeah.
Pitch Black is it's a sci-fi horror movie, but I would also technically say it's a monster movie. Have you seen Pitch Black yet? Have I made you watch Pitch Black?
You haven't, and I want to see it. That's the first Riddick movie, right?
Yes. The other two are definitely like more adventure movies, but Pitch Black I would say is more of a horror movie. Mm-hmm. You know the premise, though, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, that one kind of falls in between. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what separates a monster movie from, like Alien. Is Alien a monster movie?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it is.
Okay.
I would say, I mean, anything that were, like, the horror, as opposed to, like, what's the source of the fear, right? I think is what you're pinpointing. And, like...
Oh, that helps actually.
Yeah, if like it's Alien is a sci-fi horror, it's isolation horror, but it's also a monster movie at the same time. Jaws is technically a monster movie. Silence of the Lambs
I would
is
say
more like a psychological thriller. Anyway. Yeah.
I was gonna say the thing I think is like the monster is scary, but what's more scary is not knowing which of them is like turned on them.
Yeah, it's a combo of monster movie and psychological horror.
Yeah,
and I love psychological horror. It's good. What else on here is that I'm trying to? Oh, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It Follows. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which I haven't seen yet, but I would like to.
I haven't seen the original. The 1970s version is very enjoyable. Yeah, it's good. Jeff Goldblum.
The Fly?
The Fly?
Maybe. The Fly is interesting because he is the monster. It's like the twisting of science. The Reanimator is also kind of similar to that. If you
fucking Reanimator. My God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Where like the horror of it is like the twisting of like what like it's inherently wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I
fucked up.
I can't stand that movie. Sadly,
that's fair.
And it's only because of like the one thing that happens at the end that I just like. I'm just like I can't do this. That pushed it over the edge for me. But yeah, I respect its place in the cult horror canon for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors is
you put it on the list, all right?
Yeah,
so I'm just trying to.
No, it's there in the title, right? No, it's a horror movie, but it's like a campy. It's based right. It's gone through so many iterations. It's based on the original like 1950s or 1960s rather movie that was like campy B movie horror that wasn't really scary. So it's deliberately. I mean, it's a, Frank Oz movie and they're using puppetry and that's part of the whole conceit is that it's not supposed to be like legitimately a scary monster, no. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure there may be
It has like horror elements. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a horror movie in trope and concept, especially if you consider the original ending and not the theatrical movie ending, but the original stage ending, which tested poorly in theaters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's mostly musical, mostly a comedy, but it has horror elements. I was looking at like the horror tag on Letterboxd, and it was like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was like, I mean,
really?
I guess because that's also,
I can't think about what about horrors. Like, what about Rocky Horror is like scary?
I mean, nothing to a lot of people, but it's been so. My friend Lila, who I've mentioned before on the podcast, was this kind of the same way as you mentioned earlier. As a kid, it was very, very low tolerance for scary movies. Still to this day, I think it's safe to say, and didn't for a long time want to see Rocky Horror Picture Show because when we talked about it, just like you said, I mean, there was like a guy with an axe in the movie or whatever, and it has the word horror in the title. And I was like, oh, that's the scene with Meatloaf where he has the axe and then Rocky kills him. Not Rocky, when Frankenfurter kills him with the axe. And I was like, but it's not scary. And I thought that even as a kid, I was like, this isn't a horror movie. But it's like using horror tropes because it's an homage, a love letter to B movie weirdness and the edge, and like when I say the edge, I don't mean the dude from the band U2. I mean like
the edge.
The edge, just like the edge. No, like it's the periphery and like being and queerness in its own way, and like that inherent stuff in horror movies and stuff like that. What a beautiful sentence that was! My gosh.
I followed you.
Yeah, but it's also like science fiction, obviously, and so it's playing with those elements. But I think part of it is that for so many people, it's so embedded in the cult culture, the cult culture, which is redundant. That it's not seen as scary, if it ever was seen as that. I don't know. It's Rocky Horror, right? It's just a fun romp, basically.
I would say...
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, man. I added Repo the Genetic Opera. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I was trying to remember it. Repo kind of falls into that same thing, I think, where it's a little bit more horror than Rocky Horror, but it's an opera. Anthony Stewart Head is there.
Delicious.
You know, it's pretty grim. I was also thinking Shaun of the Dead, too, falls into that, where it uses a lot of horror tropes to play to something else. I do remember, I was saying earlier, like, I think Shaun of the Dead's main genre is comedy with horror tropes. But thinking on it, like, I do remember when I was younger seeing it, that was, like, kind of the outer edge of things that I could watch.
Right.
Because it's still zombies, you know, even if it's, like, funny.
Yeah. Like, I don't get nightmares from watching Shaun of the Dead, but it's still...
No.
Is, like, technically a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just plays with the trope so brilliantly.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
I love that movie.
Me too. I love the Cornetto trilogy. When are we just going to do an episode on Hot Fuzz?
It's just can't wait. Well, I want an excuse to watch it again.
Yes, please. Once your show is over, come over. We'll just watch Hot Fuzz.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bring Madeline. She could come.
Yes.
I don't know if she's ever watched Hot Fuzz. I should ask her. Anyway, so...
Night of the Living Dead? Have you seen that?
I have not seen Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
I need to, for sure. That's like a... There's a lot of movies in regular life, if you haven't picked this up by now just by listening to me fucking talk, there's so many like staples of so many genres that I just have missed somehow. I just have never gotten around to them.
Mm-hmm.
But Night of the Living Dead is one of the ones that I want to go back for because it was such a setup for so many other things.
Yeah, I really like that movie. It's very like low budget, which I really like about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And the social commentary in it is really cool. It's just a very like efficient little independent movie, which I love about it. You're writing more zombie movies. Eyes Without a Face is
which I have not seen.
Yeah,
but you like, don't you?
I do. I think I've mentioned it before because it's just been a part of my life in a weird way for a long time. I saw it when I was in high school. Back when the Criterion Channel, which has its own little app now, it's fancy.
Yeah, I know.
Was still on the site called Mubi. What is now Mubi, but was then called Auteurs. And they would show movies for free every once in a while. They had like a handful of like classic or like hidden gems from all over the world, and there was this movie called Eyes Without a Face, or Les Yeux Sans Visage. It's a French film.
I was gonna say, is it French?
Yeah, 1952, I think. And so I watched it when I was a teenager, and I was like, oh damn, this is real good. And then and I was very proud of myself for finding this random like what I thought was an obscure movie. And then my first year of college, Film Studies 101, we watched it as well. And I was so excited because I was like, I've seen this. And there was an option to like, for the midterm essay or the midterm presentation and then the final essay, I did my midterm presentation on Eyes Without a Face. And then there was an option to do an essay about Eyes Without a Face and a comparison to The Skin I Live In for a final essay. And I was like, cool, well, I'll just do that then. So both my midterm essay and my midterm presentation, my final essay were about Eyes Without a Face. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's not as scary, maybe. It's just maybe squicky if you have a low tolerance for body horror. And back in 1952, it made French audiences faint, apparently. But, like, there was, like, more than they could handle. Yeah, it's just good. I don't know if I want to give away too much about it, but it's delightful.
Yeah, I would like to see it at some point, so if we can not, that would be... But
yeah.
You like it so much that I'm, like, very interested in it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think it holds up. It's good.
Another one you really like that I really want to see is Ginger Snaps,
Yes.
which you've been trying to get me to watch that one for like years, and I really want to, and it's one thing I just never, because that's one of the ones where you're like, you should really see it. I'm like, well, you really like it, so I should just watch it with you, and then we never get together to watch movies. Together.
It's because I have it, and it's one of those movies that I keep saying it because I think that you particularly will probably enjoy it.
I think so. Yeah. I think I would.
That one I also saw at a really special occasion because it was being shown in the theater at college by like for some like Halloween special celebrating Canadian cinema. For those of you who don't know about Canadians, there's a thing like especially when it comes to art, but I think just in general where like with theater and film, especially in the past 100 years where or so where they've like understandably trying to focus more on their own stuff and like producing their own stuff and celebrating like uniquely Canadian art instead of like dealing with American entertainment exports and everything. It's a huge thing in the theater business up there, and also with like celebrating film and everything, which is totally like valid and understandable. I was having a conversation with a theater teacher, an old theater professor, about it lately, which is why it's on my mind. But they're really into like having like celebrations for, you know, Canadian films, and Ginger Snaps is a Canadian horror like werewolf movie that was just very good. That's all I have to say about that. It's good. It's a good movie.
Oh, speaking of fucking werewolf movies, did you see that Guillermo del Toro is going to direct one?
No.
It's going to be a cowboy western. I had two separate people text me about it. Because I have
a brand.
I have a fucking brand. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to try and dig it up.
I will also IMDb it.
This is our fucking news report. Mm-hmm. Guillermo del Toro and Issa Lopez, who directed Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Untitled werewolf western.
Oh my fucking god.
There was a interview in Entertainment Weekly. I have a movie with Guillermo del Toro, who said, what are you going to do next? Let's do something. We're prepping a werewolf movie, a supernatural western. It's a werewolf western, she says, again, speaking to me, Matthew, the kind of person who would love this shit.
Oh my god.
He has the script. I wrote it. He loves it. We're gearing up to make it. The thing is, there's not really that many brilliant werewolf movies, and American Werewolf in London is a big one. I think it's time to revisit.
Oh, great.
It's about revisiting the essence of what it is, which is trying to contain the beast in you. It's as simple as that. I think that's perfectly relatable with humankind, and particularly the moment we're living in.
Oh, he's going to make a sympathetic werewolf movie. I love them.
And it's a werewolf western. I'm so excited for this fucking movie.
That's really good because for her, she's a director of Tigers Are Not Afraid? Or writer?
Sorry, I think so. Well, it doesn't say in here. I could double check, but
because I recall, there's a podcast called Switchblade Sisters where, they bring people on to talk about, or specifically women filmmakers on to talk about like the movies that really affected them. And I remember listening to an episode that she did like long before Tigers Are Not Afraid came out. I think when it was still in production, where she went on specifically to talk about Pan's Labyrinth, and the positive effect that it had on her and the influence it had on Tigers Are Not Afraid. So that's amazing that if that's true, she's getting to work with him. Because
directed by her.
That would be her.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Is that they are like, he saw that, was like, this movie is super fucking good. Let's make something. And then she wrote the script for this other thing, and now they're working on it together. So, like, fingers crossed.
God. Yay. That sounds good.
Yeah. There's your news.
Werewolves.
God, I love werewolves. The reason I brought it because I was thinking, like, yes, I know. We both do. Because I was thinking, like, I feel like I can't think of really many good werewolf movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Ginger Snaps is one.
Yes.
American Werewolf in London, I haven't seen, but that's another one.
That's good.
Question mark. you know, that's like scary, you know, like.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the classic.
There's the fucking Teen Wolf movie, and I love that movie, but like
Ween Twelve?
Yeah, Wolf Teens, Ween 12, yeah, but it's not a horror movie.
No, it's not.
Considering how there's essentially a whole subgenre of that's what the kids are calling it, subgenre of vampire horror movies. I was at a party around last Halloween, and they were just playing horror movies, and of course I kind of drifted in and out. And I feel like every time I walked in, there was a different weird vampire movie on. Like, and maybe it was all just one long weird vampire movie, but there's so fucking many of them. And I'm like, It's time for the werewolves.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think I've seen a lot of them if they're the good one. And like American Werewolf
in London. If they
exist,
exist, I don't know where they are. Yeah.
It's also kind of a comedy. Like it's funny. But yeah, I'm looking at these, like, I'm looking at lists of, like, werewolf movies, and I guess The Howling is one that I haven't seen that I've heard is quite good.
I haven't even heard of that before.
Apparently it's a classic. It's Joe Dante who directed Gremlins, and I have heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. But I think that's one. Ginger Snap is on this list. Good on you. The Wolfman, the classic Wolfman with Claude Rains, which I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And Ralph Bellamy, my best friend, Ralph Bellamy. Dog
and that's
Soldiers.
it.
American Werewolf in London. There it is. Which has the coolest transformation sequence ever.
Excuse me, Van Helsing.
Yeah. I don't.
Thank you for briefly indulging my bullshit.
I don't want to talk about the transformations. What I don't want to talk about is how jacked he is in that movie as a wolf. When he turns into a werewolf, it's like, this is the buffest dog I've ever seen in my life, and I don't want to see any more of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like I'm looking at this list from this site called Bloody Disgusting, which I'm assuming is a horror website, and it's like the top 4 are like of these. They're like 12 best werewolf movies according to this website. It's like American Werewolf in London, Wolfman, The Howling, and Ginger Snaps. So that's cool.
Yeah, if you have a fucking werewolf spec script, get on it.
For those who may or may not know, I play a werewolf in Monster of the Week.
Yeah, I run a Monster of the Week gape, and Helena plays a werewolf, which the gang found out within about 2 seconds of you joining.
Well,
which, like, I'm still... they found out pretty fast.
Soon.
You've been hiding this secret, like, basically your whole life, and these clowns showed up and were like, you're our friend, and you're a werewolf, and you were like, fuck.
Yeah, that's basically how it happened, to be quite honest.
God, outside of werewolves, though, I do love talking about werewolves.
I love Lupin.
I'm trying to think, what are... Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard this.
Mm-hmm. I love him. I love him.
You love him?
I'm love him. Yeah. That's a gay mood, though, I think.
I feel like we can't really talk about horror without talking about Jordan Peele, obviously.
Yes.
Like, Us and Get Out both were so fucking good. I haven't seen Us yet, because you and I were going to go.
Yeah, and then we couldn't.
And then we couldn't.
I saw it.
I think I just was, like, fucking white and was like, I just can't do it right now.
Yeah.
But God, do I want to see it.
It's good.
I remember watching Get Out with my parents, and they were like, this is not that scary. And then my mom proceeded to go upstairs and, like, yell down at us and being like, is it over yet? And I was like, it is fucking scary, Mom.
Yeah.
Also, it is important, but, like...
Yeah. It's a psychological horror. That's another one that's, like, psychological, but also, like, social, and also kind of slasher-ish, but not really.
Yeah.
Because, because the horror is from... I mean, the horror is racism, but, you know, more specifically, which is like, yes.
And also, like, the betrayal of, like, trust. Like,
yeah. So I would say psychological.
Like, yeah, the big moment in the movie is when you realize, oh, they're selling people.
Yeah.
there's a few moments like that where you're like, oh, they're selling people. Oh, they're taking over people's bodies. Oh, they're, you know, where it's the continual, like, it can't get any worse, and then it gets fucking worse. Oh, she's in on it.
Yeah. That was the fucking
oh, she's
creepiest.
like, she's fucking, like, basically in charge of it. Like, yeah. Oh, man.
That was for me one of the scariest parts of the movie. I saw that in theaters with Z and with Katie McKelvey. And the part where he finds like that door that she keeps shut, or like sometimes it's like open. He's like, "What's that place?" And that's where she like keeps the box with all of the photos of like all of these people that she's dated and brought or become friends with and brought back, and it's like including the two people who are already there at the house. And he's like, holy fucking shit.
I just think about that scene of her sitting on her bed drinking milk and eating dry cereal separately with all the photos, and it's like so like
wrong.
Oh, I'm getting like tingles like in my shoulder blades just thinking about it, because it's so like clinical. Oh man, he's good at what he do.
He's
very, very good.
Us is also is quite good. A different, I don't know if I would say it's as good as Get Out. I think it's quite good. I think it's a different kind of horror, so it's difficult to compare them. Yeah. I mean, he's very much into the social like aspect of it, and which I think is a critical part of horror anyway, the social subtext to like what the true horror of this thing is, right?
Yeah, the whole point is like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
And so much of that ties into, you know, the fucking real life.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's difficult to tie that into horror movies. I guess I was thinking about it earlier before I recorded, and it's like, what are these movies really about? Like Alien is about, you know, it's like it is an alien that is after them, but it's also about it's what they can't see. It's because I was thinking about your comment about how, you know, so many of those movies don't contrast well enough, so you can't actually see what's there, and how so many movies like Jaws or Alien effectively hide their monsters or their villains for most of the time, and then only use them with economy. And the Thing is the same way. And it's kind of like what we're all really scared of deep down. We're all actually scared of the same thing, which I think is what is unknowable and what we can't know and what we can't understand.
Right.
And I think that all horror movies are in kind of in a way about that and different aspects of that. Yeah, I mean, Ginger Snaps is about, like, this is the horror of being a woman.
Yeah, or, like, The Babadook is about the horror of, like, trauma.
Yeah.
And grief. And, like, loneliness.
Yeah.
You know, not being able to face yourself and having to take care of somebody else when you can't take care of yourself. God, I love The Babadook.
A good one.
I love that movie. It's so good.
Jennifer's Body is about being a lesbian
it's about the fear of being a lesbian.
It's about the fear of straight people getting in your business.
That's true. It's about the fear of men.
It's about the fear of men sacrificing you in rituals and then not getting to be with your best friend who's you are in lesbians with.
Yeah. Can you believe I still haven't seen Jennifer's Body? I just know so much about this movie because like the internet is like, here you go, you'd love this, and I'm like, you're right, I am gay.
You're right, I am.
I would love to see Jennifer's Body. It's good, but I want to see that movie. God, speaking of like weird. And I'm sorry to do this to Jennifer's Body. It doesn't deserve this. But I'm going to very briefly talk about Stay Alive, which is horrible, and I love this movie. If you've ever heard me say, like, if you die in the game, you die for real, it is a quote from the trailer of this movie. The whole point is that they get a haunted fucking video game that's like a horror MMO, basically, and when they die in the game, that death is recreated in the meat space. But I think it's Frankie Muniz who says, when you die in the game, you die for real. and then they cut it from the fucking movie, and I'm still so upset about it.
No, that's like
because
iconic,
that movie is,
though.
It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard, and his delivery is so good. It may not be him, but maybe the protagonist. Oh god, that movie is like fucking awful, but like really fun. It's very like unintentionally, it takes itself very seriously, but also the idea is they're basically playing Silent Hill, them MMO, and their characters die and then they die. And at one point you think Frankie Muniz is dead, and then he fucking comes back.
No!
Greatest. No,
is
it's
it good?
So good.
Oh, okay.
It fucking rules. No, he comes back. He survives.
I'm sorry. This character's name is Loomis Crowley?
What? Are you looking at Stay Alive?
After playing a video game titled Stay Alive, Loomis Crowley,
is that the main boy's name?
Who is destined to die in a horror movie because of his fucking name. His roommate Rex and Rex's girlfriend Sarah are killed in the same way as those characters were killed in the game.
Different movie, dude, I think.
No, say one.
2006? Mm-hmm. No, there's Hutch, Abigail... Frankie Muniz is named Swink. Oh no, there we go. There it is. Yes.
Yeah, that's the beginning of character. Okay,
he dies like first.
Okay, but still, the rest of these characters' names are Hutch.
Yeah.
October, and her brother Phineas, and then another friend Swink. Yeah, they're destined to die.
No, it's so good.
2 detectives, Thibodeau and King, destined to die. Destined to be born a detective. That guy, Detective Thibodeau and Detective King, came out of the womb at the exact same time, their respective wombs, these fictional wombs, with like a cigar and like that hat, just saying like, "Where's the mystery? I gotta solve it. I'm a detective. Boogie woogie woogie. I'm a detective. I gotta solve some homicides." Their names are destined to be.
Stop! You're killing me. Did you know that the gross for this fucking movie was $27,000? No, $27 million. $27 million.
Would you call that a hit? I'd call that a hit.
It made $20 million. The budget was like $7 million. So like,
oh no.
Holy shit.
Well, it's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, it isn't. It made money, which is more than I would have expected from Stay Alive.
Oh, Sophia Bush is in this movie.
Oh, God.
Oh, Adam Goldberg.
Well, I own it on DVD if you ever want to fucking watch it.
I'm just excited to meet Detective Thibodeau and King. Smoking their fucking... in their office with the dame walks in and they're just ready babies.
She's the fucking bloody countess.
They came out of the womb like that. Oh my good lord.
So that's Stay Alive. It's the only bad movie on this list. No, I did put the Silent Hill movies on there.
Oh, you did?
The first one is fine. The first one has Sean Bean and he's the only person who lives, so he's the final girl.
Sean
but he's
Bean
the final... Yeah, he's the final dad. Spoilers for Silent Hill. Yeah, no, the plot of...
Shut up.
So it's...
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Please.
Yeah, no, so the plot of Silent Hill, the game, is that the dad goes with his daughter into Silent Hill, and they both fucking die, or whatever. It's weird. Silent Hill doesn't make sense, and I love it. But in the movie, they make it gay on accident, because it's the mom and the daughter... And in the game, there's a lady police officer, and they have some weird tension. But in the movie, the lady police officer is still a lady.
Good.
And it turns out they were dead the whole time. Like, they died in Silent Hill. So the final shot is Sean Bean, like, single-handedly haunting his home.
Oh, no!
While, like, the ghosts of his wife and daughter just kind of fucking wander around.
Oh.
I think the idea is that they drive back to the home, and you're like, oh, fuck, they survived. And then they get it, and he can't see them. So Sean Bean is the only one who survived Silent Hill 1.
But at what cost?
And he's the final dad. He's not in the movie very much.
He survived, but at what cost?
Yeah. Silent Hill's... apparently the second one's worse.
I love Sean Bean.
I love Sean Bean
I just want the best for him.
Me too.
Chucky, we're not talking about Chucky. I want to be able to sleep tonight, so we're not talking about Chucky. We're
not talking about Chucky.
My particular thing, we wanted to talk briefly about like our limits with horror movies. I think that I've been saying to people like my like tolerance for horror movies I think has gone down proportionately since I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I was watching scary stuff and reading scary or comparatively scary stuff a lot. Like I watched The Witches a lot. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid, which there are parts of that movie that I can't even watch now. Because it's freaky. Just one part in particular. It's mostly fine. It's a children's movie, kind of. But now I'm like a big weenie, and need to have like 5 friends over, and we need to make refried bean quesadillas beforehand and drink wine and talk about D&D classes before I can even fucking handle the trauma. And I have my limits with the fucking haunted dolls and the possessed dolls and the dummies, the ventriloquist dummies. I don't like them. They're evil and bad.
Yeah, I saw an ad for, I think, Seed of Chucky on TV when I was a kid. And that fucked me up for years.
Yeah.
I had nightmares about Chucky. And now I don't really have a problem. Like, I still am kind of uncomfortable with dolls.
Yeah.
But it's, like, fine. But, oh, God. One of my greatest real-life fears is, like, there's somebody in my house and I don't know it.
Yeah, me too.
But weirdly enough, The Purge did not bother me.
Yeah.
I didn't watch The Purge for years because I was like, house breaking, like someone breaking into my house is like one of my greatest fears. And like, but The Purge was like totally fine.
Yeah.
But like some supernatural stuff, specifically about like possession and things like that, some of that stuff bugs me, and it's hard to tell when it's going to bug me and when it's not going to. Like, I'm not going to see The Exorcist.
Right.
Like, I would like to, but I'm pretty sure I just can't fucking watch The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or like Poltergeist or things like that. Like, nope. I just can't.
And Poltergeist, like fucking So Poltergeist is actually what did it, and I'm gonna have nightmares just talking about this, I bet you. So I'm gonna have to watch a bunch of Bim Bam videos or something before I go to bed. There's a scene in Poltergeist that I saw when I was very young, out of context from the rest of the movie, where they think the trouble is over, and this little boy is lying in his bed, and he sees this kind of clown doll sitting on his chair, and he's like, that's creepy though. So he throws his coat over it. He doesn't want to look at the clown, wouldn't you? And then later he goes to sleep, and then he wakes up and he looks at his chair, and the clown is gone, and his coat is like hanging there on the chair. And then he like gets out of bed like a dumb bitch, and the clown has these like long stretchy arms, and the clown reaches out from under the bed and grabs him by the ankles and tries to pull him under the bed, and its face is all contorted. So I saw that when I was quite young. And then I saw that episode of Scooby-Doo. Well, I saw the Goosebumps, the Night of the Living Dummy, whatever stuff, which fucked me up permanently. And there's an episode of Scooby-Doo that I watched a lot where they they find a case of like counterfeit money, and that leads them back to this like puppet shop or whatever, this puppeteer, and they go back, and there's like a caretaker there with all his puppets, and he has his little puppet friend sitting on his lap, and then the puppet wakes up as they're sneaking in, unbeknownst to them, and then they go back and find out that the old man was also a puppet or something, this guy that they've been talking to earlier.
Yes.
Remember? Oh god, it's horrible. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode, and it's not even that freaky, but it's still like extremely freaky because it's fucking dummies and puppets, and I hate it. Ugh.
I hate it.
Yeah, so I'm just scared of the dark is my problem. So
yeah,
I'm really glad.
I used to sleep with the light on, and now I can't. So
yeah, I had to a couple of times after seeing a few scary movies recently.
Yes, no, that's fair, because I was thinking about this. Couple stories briefly. The original Evil Dead has its moments, but like generally like scary in a fun way, like enjoyable. The remake kept me up for like 3 nights in a row.
Yeah,
like the remake fucked me right up. I would like to see it again now that I enjoy more horror and see how I feel about it, but like, oh my god, the remake was scary. Oh, I do love horror though. Like, so sometimes we all have. I think even like people who are super into horror, sometimes you're like, oh, but that was really scary though.
Yeah.
I do love it though.
Yeah, I can enjoy it, and I can also not
Mhm.
enjoy it. And even when, like, I do enjoy being scared sometimes. Like,
Mhm.
I sometimes
Mhm.
enjoy the experience of it if I'm in a safe place, and I think that, and I have a way
Mhm.
of dealing with it. You know, like I said, like
Mhm.
last night I watched it, and it wasn't that as bad as I thought it was gonna be. But I still like laid in bed and watched funny like Bam Bam animations before going to bed because I was like,
Yeah.
this will cheer me up. So it's like we all deal with how we can deal it, and some people, sometimes it's just like just a little bit of that is not like I know several people where maybe I don't know who said this. Maybe it was even Ezra who said this. I can't remember. Where it's just like the experience of being scared or experiencing terror while watching a movie is just not something that they get any enjoyment out of.
Yeah, Z said that a few times.
Yeah, and which is like totally valid.
Mhm.
There's just some reasons that you don't watch movies.
Yeah. I can't think of what it is about horror that like I enjoy. I don't know.
Well, it can
I
be.
couldn't tell you what it is about like the scares that are so like
It's cathartic, and for some people,
Mhm.
and it could be like we've talked about before. It can horror storytelling can be a way of dealing with or addressing bigger issues that are like underlying, like the actual real horror of our day to day just being people, in a way that a lot of other more straight genres can't.
Yeah, it's a good tool for processing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that, and I think it is cathartic being able to, I don't know, knowing that the terror isn't real if you're able to separate that, if you have a good system for
Mhm.
like processing it, can be
Yeah,
good.
and kind of putting yourself in a better place afterwards.
Yeah. Um yeah, and I guess on that note, I'll be seeing It Chapter 2 pretty soon, I guess. So have I mentioned on this episode that I love Bill Hader very dearly, and that
You have not, but please.
I love Bill Hader very dearly, and I think he's a very good actor. I think he has the range, darling, and I think that he will be very good
True.
in it. And I'm happy that he's at it. Anyway, continue.
Yes. Now, I was going to say, I'm going to be looking at if you live in Portland, Hollywood Theater is going to be doing some horror kind of moving their way into October. They're going to do The Evil Dead with an all-new score, which I'm really excited to go see. They're doing Rosemary's Baby. They're doing The Exorcist.
Oh, have you seen Rosemary's Baby?
I have not.
Oh, I like that movie. Again,
I want to see it.
Like Roman Polanski, not fantastic, but it is it's a good one. John,
Yeah.
I really like the performances in that movie, especially.
Unrelated to horror, they're also doing Starship Troopers, which I still haven't seen.
Hell
And
yes.
God, I need to fucking see this movie.
Oh, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Yeah.
One Cut of the Dead, I've heard. Some Stephen King. They also have like series. You were mentioning they have a queer horror series that they do.
Yeah, they have a queer horror one that they don't do it regularly. They do it every so often. And oh God, I always miss it, and it always bums me out. I wish I could see what older ones they've done. They did. I think the first time I ever noticed it is they did one of the Friday the 13th. Is it Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
I think it might be the third. I'm Googling it right now.
They have their signature film series. Let me just look at that. So they have, they have a lot of like, so for those of you who don't know the Hollywood, they have a lot of, like different like series related to films that they do every once in a while. So they have like B-movie bingo where they will show a B-movie, and part of like the experience is that you get to play like bingo for B-movie tropes while you watch the movie. It's super cool. But they also have, I'm looking at this, they have Grindhouse Film Festival, which I think they do every now and again. They have Pipe Organ Pictures, which Dr. Caligari is, where they have an actual old pipe organ because the Hollywood is a theater from the 1920s and they have a legit pipe organ in there, and they will play a silent movie and have a real pipe organ playing. It's super dope. Queer horror. They also have repressed cinema as well. And queer
it was Friday
commons.
the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, what's the point of this episode, I guess? Why do we want to talk about horror to wrap it up?
Well, we're coming up on Halloween. That was part of it. It is coming out. That was part of it, too. The other thing was like, I just... I like horror a lot, and we haven't had a chance to... That's one of the things that we haven't really brought up at all yet.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it. I don't know if you had a particular reason you were thinking about it, but you were like, maybe we could do horror. And I was like... Yeah, that's a passion of mine. I haven't had a chance to really dive into it all yet.
Yeah.
And we're, over 6 months into this escapade, so
Wacky.
Fucking open the goddamn doors. Let's go.
Open the floodgates.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. They're just fun. And that's a terrible way. I'm not gonna end the episode with they're just fun.
Well, here, how about this? We each pick a horror movie that we would recommend for somebody who wants to learn more. So, like, what's a recommendation you have?
I would say, oh man, it's so dependent on what your tolerance level is. I would say that Ginger Snaps is the one that I recommend to people, just because I think it's a lesser known one.
Yeah, you could give like a star rating too of like 1 to 10, like scary.
Oh yeah, that's tough. I would say it's up there. It's like a 7.
A 7?
A lot of it is body horror, which is not particularly frightening to me. So I don't know if people's tolerance for that is, because of like transformation sequences that are happening in there. There's also some like the movie literally opens with a "Does the dog die?" The answer is yes. Thing, which is very graphic for those of you who don't want to watch the opening. So it's graphic and like sometimes, and like graphic body horror doesn't really scare me as much. So it's but I would say that it's probably a 7 out of 10, maybe. I don't know. For your mileage may vary.
A rough idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. So I want to do Crimson Peak, which is a Guillermo del Toro joint, which has
Vroom Vroom. Yes.
Tom Hiddleston. I'm fucking blanking on anybody else in it.
I got you.
It's like a Victorian Gothic. Oh, you got him.
Mia. What's her name? Mia Wasikowski. Is that how you pronounce her last name? The fucking Alice in Wonderland girl.
Yeah.
Just a horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I called her
I'm sorry.
that.
She deserves better than that.
And Jessica Chastain and Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam. Yes, I forgot who the other male lead was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Gothic Victorian horror, just so fucking good. There's a lot of, especially like the early, like there's some scary stuff right at the beginning, and then there's a lot of it that's kind of like creeping, not exactly horror. And then when they go to Crimson Peak, then it just picks right the fuck up.
Yeah.
So I would put it at like an 8 probably. It's if supernatural stuff, especially if you're afraid of like ghosts and stuff, it's pretty scary, and the models they use for the ghosts are gross as shit.
Yeah.
But like, God, it's so good.
I would always recommend watching these movies with your friends if you have any friends, watch them with your friends.
If you have friends who like watching scary stuff, yeah.
I think that's like a helpful way to like take down the scare factor a little bit. I think. I don't know. Would you say that for you?
Yeah. I remember I don't often have trouble watching these on my own, depending on what it is. Some of them I have to, but look, I remember we did a movie where we all brought different movies that we really liked, and somebody brought Crimson Peak. And even the people who were not super into horror were like totally fine with it, because there were just a bunch of us and it was like daytime and stuff. But God, it's just fucking phenomenal. He's just so good. He's so good at what he fucking does. And what he does is scary. So
horror fun. Horror good.
Yeah. Yeah, horror fun, horror good. Enjoy it with your friends. Or don't. That's okay. If you don't like it, that's totally fine, and we still love you.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
And remember to tip your detectives who came out of the wombs as detectives.
Stop. Stop. bullying me and stay alive like this? You do this to Frankie Muniz? You do this to him?
Paul Giamatti did it first. In the classic film, Big Fat Liar. When he stole Frankie Muniz's screenplay to stay alive.
Big Fat Liar, noted horror movie.
I'm not allowed to call it. I just called it Stayin' Alive, like the song by the Bee Gees.
Yeah, that's part of the soundtrack.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Should I record the ending?
Yeah, let's just get out of here.
Okay. Hey everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneeple at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. You can check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. That's WIXSITE.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or any homoerotic horror movies to recommend, please come say hello. Also, if you can, please leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends you think would enjoy it. We're 6 months in, which is, we keep marking this, and it's like still insane no matter how far we get.
I think we're actually at about 7 months at this point.
Oh, good Lord.
We're past the halfway point.
We're past the halfway point, and there's no going back. Much like a horror movie. But unlike a horror movie, we enjoy doing this and sharing it with you. I mean, I enjoy sharing horror movies with you. Anyway, we can you can spread the news still, and help us gain a little traction in these still comparatively early months, and that would be super cool, and we'd really appreciate it. It's a big help. And I guess that's it. As always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.